Hey guys, I'm so sorry that it cut out like that. Once again, this is not the traditional format that I would use, and was totally unaware that there was a time limit for recording for this specific app that I'm using here. So um, don't worry, that won't happen again. We're going to finish up right now. So let's recap real quick because I know that probably stunned a little bit of you guys. It stunned me. So we had our main causes, looking at militarism, alliances, imperialism, and our last one, that N stands for nationalism. So hopefully with nationalism you guys understand that it's a sense of pride. It's a sense of feeling good about the fact that you are from this specific region or this specific country. I will say that, and this is one thing that I can say and not feel ashamed of. I'm nationalistic. I am proud to be an American. I believe um, that this is the greatest country on earth, and I would want to live nowhere else. That's a very nationalistic thing to believe. And so nationalism can create the sense of pride within groups of people. It unites people with the same common history or language or morals or laws or even economic system. It's a sense of we're all together. Now, the problem with nationalism is that because you may become so prideful, you kind of may view others as inferior. If I believe the U.S. is the greatest country in the world, then indirectly I'm saying that every other country around us and around us in this great big world is not to the same standard that we are. But I could have that same feeling. Someone in France could have the same feeling that the French government and the French people are the greatest group. Same thing for the British or for the Germans or the Japanese or Chinese or Indian or South Africans, wherever. The problem is when you have that sense of pride, that can get in the way of communication sometimes. It can get in the way of working with others. And so with nationalism, we're going to see that it's going to lead to groups kind of establishing empires, believing that as we are nationalistic and as we're prideful, we want to showcase that to the world. One way to do that is by gaining other territories. But the same notion, it's kind of like what happened with Napoleon in France. Once they started taking over all these territories, they realized that they didn't want to be ruled by other people, so they wanted freedom from it. So nationalism can help countries to create the need to build empires, but it can also unite people to break away from those same groups of people. So it's kind of like a give and take. It's like I want to push, and you're going to push back. Now, with nationalism, we're going to see that there's going to be big differences between how countries view each other and view the world, whether it be ideological differences, democracy and communism, capitalism and communism, totalitarian governments, monarchies versus constitutional monarchies, ideological differences such as religion, monotheistic versus polytheistic areas, and just as you might be committed to one belief system or one religion, you're going to have other groups that have that same mentality, that their way of thinking is better. So when you try to mesh these different groups together, sometimes they don't mesh well at all. And that's what you're going to have in the Balkans. And on your map yesterday, you actually had to shade in the area of the Balkan territory. So this is going to be in southeastern Europe. And tomorrow we're going to be looking at the big conflict that came from this, which is going to be the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. So we're going to stop there with the notes, but with that being said, when you talk about nationalism and how it can make things worse, how it can make things, how it can make the war more traumatic, there's a sense of pride now. There's a sense of honor with it. It's not just you're fighting for land, you're fighting for resources, you're fighting for your reputation. You know, some of you guys get in arguments with each other. It's not for anything that you can visibly show. It's just that you want to be right. You don't want to be wrong. And that's what nationalism can do sometimes. So I'm going to let you copy this down if you wish. So if you want to copy this down now, go ahead, pause it, because in a second we're going to go to the next thing. All right, we're moving on. So we have the four main causes: militarism, alliances, imperialism, nationalism. Well, there is an Edpuzzle that I assigned to your class. It's actually below this posting. I posted it last night, so you should see it below today's announcements with the warm-up and these talks and things like that. So it's on there already. You just have to click if you are new. I know I have a handful of you guys that are at least 2 of you guys that are new to the class. Just look at the person next to you and ask them how to, one, if you're not logged into Google Classroom, you're way out of luck because you don't have any access to this. But if you're new and you don't know how to get to Edpuzzle or what Edpuzzle does, just turn to your neighbor and have them show you. I'm sure they'll be able to do that. But there's an Edpuzzle for you. Stop this and then go to the Edpuzzle, and when you're done, you're going to come back to this. Okay? I'll see you in a few minutes. Alright, so hopefully now you're done with your Edpuzzle. That's great. If you haven't paused it by now, you still need to pause it, go to the Edpuzzle, and come back. So there's 2 more things I'm going to ask you to do as part of your packet for today. The first one is this main causes worksheet. There's a front and back to it. I have it printed out. It's on that big main table in the middle of the classroom. So you don't have to complete it on your own sheet of paper. Okay, I'm going to print that out for you. Don't worry about it. I don't want you working in groups. So the first 2 things, ignore. The last thing I want you to keep in mind. On the back side, there's task 2. You do not have to do question 1. So on your paper, on the back side, you don't have to do this part right here. Okay, I still want you to do 2 and 3, but you don't have to do this part right here. Okay, so that's the other thing I need you to do. So as of now in class, beside your notes, you should have filled in a chart with the triple lines and the triple lines. You should have your Edpuzzle done, and this is the main causes handout. The last thing I need you to do for today, and if you don't get it done today, don't stress about it. It will be a puzzle. It will be a chart. I'm going to show it to you right now. It looks like this. Now, I'm not going to put this in Google Docs because in order to type it, it's going to mess up the boxes. I'm not going to do that. I just want you to handwrite it today. It'll look like this. So on the left-hand side, you're going to create the causes. Main causes. Main, M-A-I-N. Main causes. Define those causes. And then I mentioned this at the end of every slide. So if you need to go back and listen to something, you can. How does it make the war bigger? How does it make the war worse? How does it make it more traumatic? How does it magnitude the size of it? How does it make the war bigger? How does it make it become known as the Great War? This is going to be the most difficult part. The 4 main causes, define them, and then how does it make it worse? So those will be the last 2 things I have you guys do today. If you have questions, you need to jot those down for me on the side of your notes, so that way tomorrow we can address those. And then tomorrow we're going to be looking at the differences between the Balkan areas and the Archduke Franz Ferdinand and what actually sparks the war. And we'll once again revisit the main causes as well. So hopefully you found this to be a little helpful, at least, to get you through the notes and you're not totally lost. But once again, just the main causes is what we need to work on for today and tomorrow. Hopefully I will see you tomorrow. If you have questions, write them down. I'll talk with you later. Peace.